Hey YouTube, it's March 30th, 2012, and you're watching the Game Startup channel. Today we're going to talk about setting milestones and knowing when to jump. Last night, had the chance to go to the Boot Up entrepreneurial groups after work beers night downtown Vancouver. It's pretty awesome. First startup centric event that I've been to. Lots of people there, probably like in the range of 60 to 80. All packed up into a tight room, all chatting about all their like awesome ideas that they're doing as startups themselves. So definitely gained a lot of insight and definitely gave me a lot of ideas of how you really need to prepare yourself for getting into business on your own. And I think really setting milestones and knowing when you're going to actually jump and take that idea and run with it is really key to having discipline in actually going forward. It came up last night, kind of this concept that, well, why are you waiting so long essentially to do this? Why 400 days? And I explained it, but at the same time, I think the question that came back to me was, well, have you heard of the Lean Startup? And yes, I have heard of the Lean Startup, but I have no idea what it is. So that's going to be a research project for the next couple of weeks to kind of get my head around the Lean Startup, pick up the book, and check out the theories, because I think that's definitely going to be a good perspective on what these guys were talking about. But in the meantime, I'm going to set a bunch of milestones in order to give myself a better idea of what this 400 days is going to evolve and what I'm going to accomplish along the way. If I don't do that, then how do you know whether or not you've accomplished what you set out to do? So those milestones are going to include product demos, setting up release dates for the different games. That includes, for example, releasing the first game, like in the Dream Build Play competition. I believe the competition deadline is in the middle of June, which is fantastic, because for somebody setting up a first game, what you really need is a hard deadline. If you don't have one, you could just let it run on forever, and then you meander a bit and lose sight of the vision of the company. So having that hard deadline, great idea for getting a first game started. Yes, it is a little bit short to release a first game. I mean, I think there's 70 some odd days left, but at the same time, I'm not really having huge expectation for the game anyway. I think it's going to be mostly a learning experience so that I can get my head around the XNA framework and really just get something out onto the Xbox Live indie game development platform. So, there's not a whole lot to worry about there. It's just basically a put your best effort in, make sure you have something to show for it. But if it's not an all-star success, it's not the biggest deal in the world. Because that's not the purpose. The purpose is a learning experience. So after that, though, we'll probably move into doing Android and iPhone development to explore that platform. I would give myself another hard deadline for that, and then maybe check out the Facebook platform as well to get an idea of where I want to go with that as well. Having a well-rounded idea of how all these platforms work is really going to be helpful later on when I have to actually make these games for money. Next thing would be, and probably the biggest things, would be setting up the business plans and marketing plans. I mean, the business plan is basically, like I've said before, supposed to set up and give you guidance towards where your business is going. And without that document, well, you're pretty much flailing, and it's very hard to explain to other people what exactly your business idea is. I had a lot of trouble last night at this startup event explaining what exactly I was going to be doing. Now, I'm comfortable with that because I know that I haven't explored that yet, and that's what I said. But, it really got me to question, am I aiming for the hardcore gamer space or the social game space? Or is there somewhere in between that needs to be filled? I really need to do some research and pick my niche, and that's what the business and marketing plans are really going to help me do. So the sooner I get on that, the more I can try and target my discussions with other people about how to make this idea go forward. The next thing to look at is having an integrated brand. Once I know what the niche is, I really need to have a milestone that says, I've got all these different things set up that unify my brand, create a great brand experience for people, and make sure that my name is a well-known name as a company, one that produces quality, one that where everybody sees the brand name, they associate it with great games, things like that, and starting there and making sure that we have that pre-planned. We're taking every step possible to make sure that the brand experience is always a good one for the customers, which includes before even launching games, get a great customer support team in place. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but I need to set a milestone to actually have a customer support team in place, because I don't think once this thing is launched, and especially if we have multiple people involved, being without a customer support team is going to be very detrimental to actually being able to develop new games, because otherwise we'd just be supporting it ourselves, and that would take away all of our development time. Another huge one, capital. Need to get money. I'm probably not going to be able to support this whole thing just with my own cash when it comes around to it. Although I will be contributing, but really need to find out how we're going to raise capital, whether that's through venture capitalists or through friends and family bonds, or any of the other options that are really out there. And I think that's going to take some serious exploring, and I think that's going to take some serious networking to really get in front of people once the idea is hashed out, in order to actually figure out what exactly it is that they're looking for in a business that they would support financially. And the last one, which is sort of related to that, is finding mentors. I think by the end of this 400 days, I'd really like to see myself with a board of mentors that can advise me on where this company is going to go. I think there's a lot of kind of high up people out there who really want to get involved in entrepreneurial ventures, that can really offer guidance in this field, and who really know how to penetrate the market with the kind of ideas that I'm coming up with right now. So as soon as I kind of figure out what exactly it is that I'm trying to do, I'll start approaching those people and start trying to get referrals through other people I've met through the networks I'm building right now. And that's basically it. Those are the milestones that I've kind of set up. The question is, when to jump. I've set a date of 400 days, and that's fantastic, and it's a great goal to have. But what if something comes up before then? Ideas come up, opportunities come up all the time. How do you know when it's appropriate to take the jump and when it's not? And I think that's something that we're going to be exploring as we come up through these 400 days. But it's very hard to justify, for example, jumping at this point, because I don't even know what the idea is. All I know is that it's in the game space. So being that broad and not having completed any milestones yet keeps things kind of shaky. So maybe down the road 6 months or 8 months, be in a place where somebody approaches me with capital and says, go build the idea and do it now. That might be an opportune time to jump, but I won't know that unless the plan is in place and unless the milestones are already being hit. So start there, work my way up, it'll be good. Anyway guys, also started a Twitter account. I hope you guys will check that out. It's twitter.com/thegamestartup. And again, lots of awesome stuff going on there. Hoping to pick up a few more followers, and hope that's you. Thanks for watching guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.